You're running as a county council member at large. That means the entire Montgomery County. What do you see as the main priority, the main thing that you need to tackle if you're elected?
And I'm not just saying this because it's the Chamber of Commerce. I talk about, people ask me like, hey, Scott, what would you consider a success? So I say, when my first term is over in December of 2026, when we're doing Christmas things together, we're celebrating Hanukkah together, a win for me would be three things. If we can create an economic identity for the county that everyone can be proud of, that reverses both the narrative, perception, and reality that we are hostile to businesses, that would be a game changer. And I propose that we do it around, what's our brand? So if you think Under Armour, high quality sporting goods. If I were to ask you what is Starbucks brand, what would you say, Mauricio?
What is a Starbucks brand?
Yeah, like if I said Starbucks, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Coffee, lattes, mochas.
Fancy coffee.
Fancy coffee.
Consistent too.
True.
If I said McDonald's, relatively inexpensive, consistent fast food. What's Montgomery County? I don't know. So I would build our brand around what I call Quad H: hospitality, Marriott, Choice, Host Hotels, dozens of others that support these businesses in the hospitality industry. By market value, Montgomery County is home to 50% of the nation's hospitality companies. That's pretty big. Healthcare, NIH, Walter Reed, FDA, and then the 270 corridor and all the companies that are locating here that are making vaccines, that are curing AIDS, that are just doing stuff, that making medicines and therapies that we don't even know about yet. But we haven't gotten that word out. It's still kind of like a secret. Third is high tech. So when Amazon chose Virginia, they said one of the big reasons among, we're near an airport, they were going to have one landlord that was replicating what they have in Seattle. So they don't have a lot of landlords that they would have to deal with for their buildings. They said Virginia is investing $1 billion in higher education STEM programs. So we know we're going to have a workforce. That's important to us. So Montgomery County has the University of Maryland, which has an incredible computer science department. And once the Purple Line gets built, they'll have a direct connection to Montgomery County. So we're home to the National Institutes of Standards and Technology, and we're home to the Cybersecurity Center for Excellence. That, with the University of Maryland, we can make an incredible pitch to high-tech companies to say, hey, make this your home, because you're going to be around a lot of good stuff happening. And then the fourth H is hops, which is an ingredient in beer. So we have a thriving craft brewery industry. We don't really sell ourselves as a destination for agro-tourism, right? So imagine if you come to Washington, D.C., it's the summertime, you get all hot and sweaty, going around looking at all the monuments. Hey, come to Montgomery County for 2 or 3 days, cool off, travel around our craft brewery country, just like they have wine country out in California.
Sure.
And have a good time, have a nice little vacation. And with a lot of industries, we have a couple dozen craft breweries. 1 or 2 of them are going to make it big. Flying Dog in Frederick is big. Dogfish Head in Delaware is big. One of these companies is going to have a beer that takes off, and they're going to open a facility here. They're going to make their beer here because this is where they were born. Companies locate where their CEOs live. So if you started a brewery here and you put your blood and sweat into it, right? You're not going to move somewhere else just because you're going to start a factory there. You're going to figure out how to do it here. And if you elect Scott Goldberg, he's going to help you to make sure it can happen here. So that's Quad H. That's our economic identity. The other 2 things in December of 2026, which would be a win, would be if we can if we can put our school system on an upward trajectory again in terms of educational outcomes. So important. I have 2 kids in the public schools, in elementary school in downtown Silver Spring. I'd only heard about it before they got to school, but it's real, right? Teacher demoralization, buildings that are just not up to par in one of the wealthiest places on the globe. And then the results that we're getting, right? We can do better, and we sort of have to make sure our kids are properly educated for either a career or college. And then the third one is combating climate change and getting all 1.1 million residents involved in that fight. Whether you're doing one thing, right? People want to be soldiers in a fight, and we're not enlisting them. And whether that's doing one thing like throwing away less trash, or getting a rain barrel to water your garden or your flowers, or putting solar panels on your roof, or composting, something people can do. They're just not being asked. And then the county, can lead much bigger things, right? We're already starting to get an all-electric county government fleet. We can put solar panels on everything. Here's a big thing. We need, if we're going to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions to 0, people need to know that when it becomes time to replace their gas heat or their gas stove, can you do it with electric, right? Let's make that a choice and offer some sort of incentive. And then, may they rest in peace, but we've had a couple apartment explosions. If we can get rid of natural gas, right, not only are we helping the environment, but we are keeping people legitimately safe. And I think that's an important thing. So those are my 3 things: economic opportunity for all by creating an economic identity for the county, improving the schools, and getting everyone involved in the fight against climate change.